Well, welcome back. Those were the highlights of that epic encounter between Mark Boyle and Simon Ward. Simon Ward, a very happy victor, and he really, really had to work very, very hard to get there. I'd like to say I've been joined by Daniel Davey in the commentary box here in Bradford. Very good afternoon to you now. I only said good morning. Feels good. We've not been here very long, but that game certainly took its time. Lee Clough and Jordan Shepherd is our next encounter. And Daniel, what can you tell us about what we're looking forward to in this one?
Two totally different players. So you've got Jordan Shepherd, who plays at 1,000 miles an hour. He's your aggressor. He's way more aggressive, way more attacking. Lee Clough is actually an attacking player in terms of how he approaches the table, and he's always looking to finish at the first opportunity, but he's much more methodical. Probably, if anything, the kind of player that Jordan hates to play. But I think because of the shot clock, because you've got a 1-minute shot clock on all TV matches, I think that sways it just into Jordan Shepherd's favour.
Should be a great game. Whether it quite matches up to the drama of our first encounter is another matter. Mark Boyle and Simon Ward went the distance. If you've just joined us, 3 hours and 20 minutes, all to go to a deciding frame, of which both players got a shot at winning it. Very, very close game.
Any better for the spectators, could it? I think with this match as well, one thing worth noting is Lee Clough has won a TV event before. It was a good 5 or 6 years ago, and there was a shot clock on that event as well. But Lee Clough did win that event with all 16 of your finest players in it. So it really isn't something that Lee Clough's probably going to be worried about, because he's been there and done it. Whereas Jordan Shepherd, multiple tour winner, multiple pro event winner, never done it on TV, obviously, never done it on the cameras before, so it's a coin toss for me.
Well, that's what we like to hear. It was a little more than that in the first game. It's a dry break to kick us off from Lee in this one, and a few problem areas for Jordan to navigate here. Been described by
table.
It really is, yeah. He's been described by a few players on the tour as one of the most exciting players to watch.
He really is. The shot there, he was actually trying to make that yellow off of the other yellow that was next to the middle pocket. He's just caught it too thin, which is why it hasn't gone in, but he was actually trying to make that yellow there. So you'll see Lee, I think, first shot, he'll be looking to get into his problem area over on the left-hand side of the table here. As always, as you're always sort of taught when you first start playing, is when you've got problem areas, you want to get into it as soon as possible, because, and we'll see him do this now, he's gone into it, it's not come out great.
He would have almost quite liked that red to go in to keep him able to make a choice, but
sure, yeah, of course, because if the red would have gone in, we saw that in the in one of the frames towards the end of the Mark Boyle Simon Ward match, and it really can, you know, depending on run of the ball plays a big part in these matches as well.
Yeah, we saw that with Mark's shot. He fluked a yellow in along with a red, and it almost won him the match.
Yeah.
As Simon alluded to in his interview, made sure he got that one in, that Mark fluked one in the final set to nearly take it. But Lee's got a difficult situation here.
I think he's looking to cover the bag. Just try and take control of the frame early doors, because you don't mind playing that. He hasn't covered the pocket perfectly, but if you look at the table layout, Jordan's got 2 yellows on the left-hand side of the table here, which 2 reds, sorry, on the left-hand side of the table here, which he can't do anything with. So might even see Jordan for the first time in about a year cover a pocket.
Not that type of player.
Not. He really isn't, though. He's he really is gung-ho, as they may call it sometimes, but that's what makes him so great to watch. he's almost unplayable. When he's at his absolute best, he really is almost unplayable. But other times he can look rash, he can look erratic. But that's what makes him so good to watch.
30 seconds.
Lee with a tidy shot into the middle pocket. But he'll be wary of almost potting too many balls here. The safety battles do generally get more difficult to win the less balls you have on the table.
Again, what we're looking at, he's going into his bad area now, so he can play the skill shot. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it, whether he's trying to pot the red or whether he's trying to come cushion first and break into his bad yellows. Shot key to the frame. He's played it really well. He's played it really well, but so Jordan hasn't got control of that area anymore, and I think we may see Lee just bring one of his two bad yellows, probably the yellow in between the bottom yellow and the black, probably just bring that out into open play.
That skill shot that Dan mentioned there, the potting of both colours.
As long as you play your own ball first. So if you're on yellows, as long as you hit the yellow first, you can actually pot the red or the yellow first, as long as they're both pocketed. It's a legal shot.
He's really having to do a lot of thinking in this frame.
His nickname's the Tower. So mentioning Lee Clough, he's to us pool players, he's a bit of a legend of the game. He really is. He's a multiple event winner, professional event winner. But he's taken a few years out. He's hasn't played for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, that's unlucky.
That is unlucky. And Jordan, now I think you're probably going to see a skill shot, first shot now.
That's tremendously unlucky from Lee. Really difficult shot, and that probably was the frame in one shot there. If that had dropped, he was in a really, really good position.
Yeah. I think now we're going to see Jordan play the skill shot straight away, probably leave the cue ball exactly where the red is. Okay, he's coming back a little bit, but he needs to get into the red, which is next to the black, and I think he may be doing this. You can see the angle, what he wants to do. He'd be playing this red with bottom right-hand spin to get in behind the black. And if you hit it at the right pace, because of that yellow, oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. He's not happy, look at him.
No, he looks like he doesn't quite believe it.
No, he sort of took the pot for granted. You know, he was so worried about hitting the right. I think he should have been playing that from, I think the shot before, he could have brought the white back slightly less, and then he would have had a better angle, to more of a natural angle, which would have made the pot that little bit easier, and he probably would have got it. But
well, the cannon was absolutely perfect. The pot, though, wasn't quite, and Lee gets a second bite at the cherry here.
yeah, he'll want to bring this white ball out to literally the centre of the table. It's all about cue ball control here. He won't miss the pot. That is just about perfect, I think. He probably would have liked it a little bit. A little bit. No, I think that's okay. See where he's pointing to. Just wants to get the white anywhere over there. Just leave yourself a shot. Don't try and be too clever. Yeah, that's perfect.
And he's left himself exactly where you were mentioning there, Dan. That's exactly where he wants to be.
You will see two totally different styles of play. Lee really is sort of, you look at Lee's face, you wouldn't know whether he's 3-0 up or 3-0 down. Jordan's a lot more emotional. You'll see a grimace from him, a bit of anger when he misses a shot, whereas Lee's more like a robot. You know, he'll just hunt you down, he's Ivan Drago.
Well, it's a lovely start to the game for Lee Clough, who takes the first frame. Very nicely done. In the end, he very, very nearly didn't get the chance to do so. But a slight mistake from Jordan Shepherd. There we can see the shot of the rest of the tables. What's the atmosphere on the floor like out there at the minute?
I think it's just excitement, you know, with the TV cameras in. I mean, we've had this set up for a few years now, but it's just got better and better. Typically streaming, but as you probably may have seen on the first couple of days, but just excitement, you know. Everyone wants to get through the rounds, everyone wants to get on the TV table, everyone wants to win that first tournament that's on TV. So I think there's just that, it's that little bit more than a World Championships this time.
Yeah, it's interesting speaking to Simon after the first match there. The relief in his face was clear to see, and he's been unlucky enough to draw highly ranked amateurs in both of his last 2 World Championships. This time he got over the line with one.
Yeah, well, Mark Boyle was one of the favourites for the event because he won a couple of tour events this year, which have pretty much the same group of players in. It's not over such a long format as this, so obviously the longer the format, the cream really should rise to the top, but Mark Boyle's as good as anybody. I mean, that would have been a good final in this last 64.
Well, it would have been, yeah. He went all the way.
Yeah.
Here we see Jordan Shepherd into his break here, looking very tidy, and as Dan alluded to a little bit earlier, very smooth and very fast player.
Very good snooker player, Jordan. His cue action's very good. You'll see, actually, interestingly, he wears glasses, but he actually looks over the glasses when he actually cues the ball.
Yeah, he does indeed.
This should be good for 1 each.
As a spectacle wearer myself, that's quite an interesting observation, actually.
It really is, yeah. I wear contact lenses myself, and I've tried, and I can't get on with them, so I've just stuck with contact lenses.
This is that difficult position where you want to be able to be as close to the cue as possible, whilst still obviously having as much of your vision.
Of course.
But well, the first frame took us a little while. The second felt like it took us 30 seconds. War and Peace compared to a tweet, those 2 frames. And it's 1 apiece.
You'll see this throughout the match. There'll probably be at least 4 or 5 frames where Jordan finishes them in about a minute. You know, if they come out good, he will just get down, get on with it, and it's almost his strength and his weakness, because he's so fast flowing that you know, he can sometimes throw in the odd silly mistake, but also he just makes it look so easy, you know, when things are going his way. Whereas you'll see Lee, it just he's just like a robot, you know. He really is. If you were to teach anybody how to play, you would actually give them, you would tell them to watch Lee Clough play, because he is that. He always plays the correct shot. He composes it. He's got everything really. The temperament, he's got every shot in the book, and he's a winner. You know, he's a proven winner.
Decent break this from Lee. Couple of yellows down.
Yeah, interesting. He uses the side break. You'll see this a lot over the week, but some players do use we call it the cut break, where you hit the second ball down when you break. And other players prefer to hit the front ball head on as hard as they can. And who's right, who's wrong? It's impossible to say, really.
Well, we're just going to take a look at what you mentioned there, Dan, just about the breaks. So this is in about as slow as we can run it. This is what you were talking about, where the ball impacts the pack here.
Yeah, a full contact on the second ball down. So in theory, you're hitting the meaty part of the pack, so you're going to transfer a lot of the force into the pack. When you hit them front on, one of the negatives is if you don't catch them quite flush, you're losing force. With that, I suppose, with the cut break, when you don't quite catch them flush, you're still getting a good spread. I personally think you tend to get a better break overall if you just hit them front on, but it's one of those the players argue about all the time. So
no right answer.
If the player wins the tournament with a cut break, well, obviously the cut break's the way forward. If he wins the tournament and he's breaking like a god, you know, hitting them as hard as he possibly can from front on, then obviously that's the way to do it. But who's to say?
He looks like he might take the front on here. He does, and does it to good effect.
Yeah, these are very simple now. It's all just about cue ball control. As long as he's taken the balls out in the correct order, which has made the finish much easier. A key part to the game really is taking the balls in the right order. We all rave about a shot, isn't he? He's knocked in a good long one or a double. If you can, the biggest skill and art in this game is if you can just always play the right shot. Make the game as easy for yourself as possible, because when you don't, all of a sudden you're snookered. And
yeah,
you know, an
that's
easy
the sign
clearance.
of a good player, isn't it? If they're always playing easy shots, it means they're always in the right place.
Of course. They make it look so easy.
Doing at the moment.
It really is. They make it look easy, but because they simplify the game and play it how it should be played. And Lee, it looks like he hasn't played a difficult shot, which he hasn't, because he's kept the cue ball under control.
It should be a relatively simple black here for Lee Clough to move into a 2 frames to 1 lead. So remember, first to 4 and then first to 3 sets. That was indeed very simple. So Lee Clough does move into a 2-1 lead in the very first frame hit, the very first set, I should say. And here are some results from the first round. Some of them are, currently live scores as well. Mark Farnsworth, the #1 seed, through no trouble over Toby Bolt. You do see the 2-3 in the middle there between Mark Boyle and Simon Ward. We had that one on the coverage here for you. What a game that was. Rest of them have been fairly comfortable, most 3-1 victories. It's been an entertaining start to the competition, that's for sure. Beckwith and Mark Chung still going at 2-2.
Good friends as well, those two. Often share a room.
I'm sure
Join each other in the last 64 of the World Championships. In off the break, that was harsh. That was unlucky.
Just about to say, yeah, the whites in off the break. Saw this a few times in our first game. Mark Boyle in particular was guilty of going in off the break, and it's just happened there for Jordan Shepherd, who seems to have the air of a man who hates sitting down. Let's take it. Lee Clough just debating where he's going to go for this one.
He's just trying to figure out the best route, the best way to use his free shot. So this shot he can do absolutely anything he wants with. It's the first legal ball that you make after this free shot that counts. Look at that, how unlucky is that?
I mean, that is exceptionally unlucky. There's a couple of instances in our first match where you could perhaps say, yeah, it wasn't the greatest break. He got the white where it shouldn't have been, but that took a couple of very, very unlucky deflections and ricochets into the pocket. Nothing Jordan Shepherd could do about that. Lee Clough here really having to decide his path forward. So he's just setting them up. Looks like it's going to be yellows, the choice. Is the break once again.
You can see the spin, the rotation on the white, and then bang, straight in the corner. Jordan.
Looked like that key wasn't going to stay in his hands for very long there.
No, he's,
But Lee here just set the yellow up over the top left pocket.
yeah, he just wants to get this shot right, because if he gets this right, the rest of the frame's easy. So it may look like he's taking a bit of time here, but he's doing the right thing. He needs to get the judge the cannon and the pace on this right, and he needs to bring the white back up table. Not quite hit it as he wanted to. So, I mean, he's still got a shot. He'll have a long yellow, but he wanted to be further up.
He's going to have to make a play on the yellow at the top of our picture as well at some point as well. That the only real problem he's got himself here in this frame.
This shot's effectively for the frame. Really well cued. It's a really good shot. So I think the yellow at the top of the table still goes into this corner past the two reds. So it's just a case of getting himself on the yellow he's actually closest to. That's the key to the frame. Just needs to manoeuvre the white ball and get that over there as soon as possible. I think we might see him follow through on the yellow that's next to the right middle and take the yellow at the top of the table next. He's probably going to try and get on the yellow into the bottom left corner as his third last yellow. No, he hasn't gone through, so he'll be taking the yellow near the pink spot now. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, does it go into the bottom left corner? Can we get an angle on that? I don't know if it definitely goes into the top left corner. The yellow and the red wedge to the left hand side of the table. I think if it does, it's tight.
It is indeed. He's currently looking at the yellow just above the black spot, almost dead straight, but a little bit of an angle on it. And he wanted to roll through, just got a little kiss, but he's still...
See the angle, if he meant to have this angle, that would suggest it doesn't go. Or he may be just playing underneath it now to play it into the top left corner.
And that was my thinking. Maybe he screws back off this yellow at the bottom of the table and leaves himself the yellow to play up to the top.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's doing. You can see where he's aiming his cue, so he could obviously just screw into the yellow and the red together, but you don't want to do that unless you have to. If you can land on it and leave yourself a shot, that's always what you want to do. So
looks like he might have just overhit that.
Possibly. If we could see his face, we'll probably see from his facial expression whether that yellow goes or not. A puff of the cheek, so if it does go, he's probably only got half a pocket.
Lovely view of this shot. Right up into that top pocket. Where does he leave the cue ball from here?
No, I think he obviously thinks it goes, but it's really tight. I mean, you can see he's down there looking. It's a long way down.
That is
right. That
very
goes.
close.
For me, that goes, but you're probably going to play it into the outer jaw of the pocket. But it does go, I think. Key to the frame, because this is 3-1 or 2 each. No, he's too hard. He has played it into the outer side, but if he'd have played it softer, it would have gone.
Has he maybe been guilty there, perhaps, of trying to get the white all the way across the table for the black?
Yeah.
Had to play it with a little bit more pace than surely he would have preferred. Jordan Shepherd here is back at the table when perhaps he might not have been expecting it.
No, I think in hindsight, if it was that tight, he almost certainly was trying to play onto it into the opposite corner pocket, but he overhit it, which meant he had to do what he did. But here's a Jordan that interesting. We probably are going to see Jordan go for game here, but he's no. I think we may see him lay a snooker. Needs to be a good one though, because that yellow's right over the bag. That is a good snooker. They're much harder to judge coming out of the snooker if you're close to the cushion. You'd much rather be further away from the first cushion that you contact.
What angle's he looking at here, do you think, Dan? Looking at off the top cushion, and just one, or looking at two?
Just one. We'll go one cushion, but he needs to hit this firm to straighten the angle up. Otherwise they can slide. He hasn't hit it firm enough. The angle was there.
That's going to be replaced, I think, is it? Or is he?
Those 2 shots, so he now has a free ball. So he'll look to, he'll be potting Lee's yellow, probably with one of his reds, with his first shot, and then looking to finish the frame from there. So he's taking his red that was slightly near the side cushion. Doesn't want that to stick to the black. See, that's careless. That is careless. He'll still probably finish the frame from here, but he didn't need to hit it that hard. If he'd have hit it a little bit softer, it couldn't have come any further out than over sort of halfway over on the left-hand side of this table. But no, he's given himself another problem.
Just gives himself that extra issue that he didn't really need to give.
No, he didn't.
So it's not out of the question that Jordan Shepherd will sweep up the frame from here, but could have made it an awful lot easier for himself.
It's all about the angle, and I don't think he's left himself a good angle there. You see there he sort of mimicked punching the table, but just as a right, you know, this is the frame's getting away from him, so he needs to make a decision here whether he's still going to attack or whether he's going to snooker Lee again, because that is probably the sensible, correct thing to do. If you can just I think sometimes you've got to take your medicine, not push the boat out, just top the white through here, and then yeah, he's going to do the right thing here, and then bump the red slightly off the cushion, and he's going to leave Lee in a world of trouble. And he's probably, you want to cover the side cushion escape. You want to be making sure Lee has to play up and down the table, because that red's so close to the black that it makes it more difficult. So you can see exactly what Jordan's trying to do here. He's trying to cover that side cushion escape, but okay. See, that's bizarre for me. He's played the double kiss on purpose, and he may have left the black. I don't know how tight that is, but he will be absolutely fuming if Lee can cut this black in. So careless.
Close. Lee's going to go for this.
I think he can make it. He's straight down. That's so careless from Jordan. It really is.
And there we go. That is a 3 frames to 1 lead for Lee Clough, having potentially given that frame up.
Okay, he knows he's been let off there. You see Lee's expression on his face. He knows he's been. That should have been 2 each. And in this set's format, 3-1 down, you need to win all 3. 2 each is anybody's. And just a simple mistake from Jordan's going to cost him dear there. Probably cost him the first set.
And here we see some of the other games that are going on today. Some of them have started around the tables. Gareth Hibbert 1-0 up against Ryan Clark. Dave Rawlinson already won up against Ross Fernie. And the rest of them still at zeros.
Gareth Hibbert there, a previous world champion. Carl Morris, Rob Donkin. Carl Morris, a world champion, probably almost 20 years ago now. Still looks fresh as a daisy as well, but it's good to see him back. He's a great character of the game. So Lee again with his cut break.
So Lee to break, and this one is for the first set. Jordan Shepherd might not get another shot in this set, and he will be kicking himself.
I think Lee,
that's the case.
Lee becomes big favourite in this frame because he's actually gone in off there.
shot, one visit, time running.
Yeah, in off again. Second time we've seen it in this game. And Jordan Shepherd then once again gets a chance, gets a way into this frame.
This is where you can see it turn so quickly. This frame has probably got 45 seconds left in it because these are so easy, and these are so easy. And yeah, you've now got Jordan Shepherd's break next. I mean, we could literally be looking at a 3-all set in the space of 3 or 4 minutes time. Just ever so slightly run out of position there, which is again a little careless, but he should be absolutely fine. Played it well.
Even the way Jordan Shepherd marches around the table, does everything at such speed, such energy.
Really does, yeah. I think he's just going to screw back now and for a simple black into the left centre.
That look very, very simple indeed. So a white in off the break for Lee Clough is the difference maker in that one. It should have been in the last one for Lee Clough. This time it goes against him.
See there, our current world champion on table 4, Craig Marsh.
And here are some more live scores.
Wow, Mark Pickloff, Mark Chung's into a decider.
All the way for that one. Second game in the first round to do that. After the one we had earlier on between Mark Boyle and Simon Ward.
Jordan Shepherd to break, trailing by 3 frames to 2.
That match started at 11 o'clock this morning.
It really did, yeah.
So 10 minutes to go until the 4-hour mark. There's the break and another in off.
I think that's the 4th one now in 6 frames that, or 3rd in 6 frames where we've gone straight off. Look at that spin on it.
Second one for Jordan Shepherd.
He is fuming. Look, he's huffing and puffing. That's what you get from Jordan. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
There's no hiding his emotions, is there?
He is fuming.
And there's not an awful lot he could have done about that, really. Sometimes it is purely luck.
I think that's twice now. You know, if you hit the break and the white goes straight into the corner or straight into the middle bag, you can blame yourself. But twice now where he's flicked other balls and it's gone in, you've got to count yourself unlucky there. I think we're going to see Lee here. He's unsure how to go, because there's an argument for yellows and reds here. That's one of you. Sometimes it's too easy.
Let's take a look. What's he thinking here? Where's the issues that he's going to want to try and solve straight off?
So he's going yellows. He's developing this first yellow. He doesn't want to pot it. Really doesn't want to pot it. Right, it's fine. Now he's just got to play one good shot. This shot's the key to the frame. So he needs to get position. He's going to screw back off of this yellow that he's just put over the corner pocket. If he gets good position here, it's simple. Key to the set.
Just concentrating, face of concentration. I'm going to take this one down the side rail. He has got the option of going into the middle as well. He's going to take the middle pocket ball and bring himself down to the bottom of the table in the process.
Yeah, I think he's come a bit short there. Yeah, if you look at Lee's face, he's come a bit short. If he just comes an extra couple of inches, it's set over. That really is a... People look at Paul and you may only see a bad mistake as a missed pot. but that could have cost him the set. I mean, he's still at the table. He's still got options, but this is now a tricky finish, and it was easy.
I think the only option he might have here is to go for the one maybe in the middle pocket and go all the way around the bottom of the table.
It's all about cue ball control, hitting at the right pace. He's gone through the gap. He's on nothing.
That's not what he was after.
No, he's not. He wanted to flick the yellow. The yellow that he's come through the gap here. He wanted to flick the yellow, and if he'd have flicked that, he would have been okay. But you can see he just slides past it, in between the red and the yellow. If he'd have got full ball contact on the yellow, it would have been set over. As it is, he still has a yellow into the left centre, but needs to get good position afterwards as well. And this is what we say about doing the simple stuff well. He had a very easy shot 2 shots ago, just to follow for a couple of extra inches, and then it would have been very simple.
This isn't the easiest shot either.
It really isn't.
He has
played it very well.
nicely.
Played it very well.
But that's the difference. It was a difficult pot. It was also a very tough positional shot, so even his next shot isn't particularly easy either. He's on the cushion.
Ideally, he'd have a little bit of angle so that the natural angle rests into the red directly to the left of the yellow. Is he going to make now? I think he has got that, yes, so that's perfect. I think he's straight. If he's dead straight, he's just going to screw back. He is dead straight. He didn't want to be dead straight, but he's still fine. And because he's dead straight, he's probably going to screw back towards the corner, towards the middle pocket. But so there's a small element of danger, but it's a simple enough shot. Obviously, the pressure to win the first set. Things can go wrong. He's cued it perfectly. He's cued it really, really well.
It's a nice shot from Clough, who is this black ball away from taking the first set here in our second match of the coverage here on Free Sports of the Whirlpool Championships 2018, and he gets it, which means Clough enters a 1-0 lead in this one over Jordan Shepherd, who is a picture of frustration in his chair here. And it's looking like a long way back for Jordan Shepherd, but we saw in our first game just how much things can change over the course of 5 sets. Jordan Shepherd will be hoping they change pretty shortly. We'll be back with set 2 after the break. And welcome back to the IPA Whirlpool Championships 2018 here in Bradford. We are currently watching Clough taking on Jordan Shepherd on the TV table. This is what we can see that's happening around the tables here in Bradford as the games progress through. See our game there right in the middle, Clough versus Shepherd.
If you do want to follow the live scores, aside from what we're watching here, you can go to ipapool.com and you'll see a link to the live scoring on there as well.
And Mark Pink with 1-3-2 in the ends, the decider.
What a break that is. That is the break of the day. Look at this. He just holds the white perfectly, centre of the table. Doesn't get the unfortunate bump this time. Makes 3 yellows. And look at the yellows.
It's just about as perfect as Jordan Shepherd could ever wish to have it. He could have picked the balls up and individually placed them on the table here, and I think that's how he would have liked it.
He wouldn't be too far off. Yeah, he His first shot needs to screw back a little for this yellow into the middle pocket. And then it probably is actually a little bit more difficult than it looks, because you see the power he's got into the break, because every ball bar one has come into the opposite side of the table.
Well, he's got that pretty much spot on. He can get the yellow through, and then he'll want to screw back for the yellow he's lining up there, then the one on the cushion. The black's the only one that actually might be a little bit tough.
Yeah, and he may be leaving himself a slow roll across the table. You can try and get clever with it and get really close to it, but then you risk snookering yourself. I think sometimes like this, you can see he is away from the cushion. You are just best off leaving yourself a shot. I think that's what Jordan's going to do.
Well, we mentioned Jordan Shepherd doesn't like hanging about when it comes to
I think he's in a rush.
his play style. This is one of the quickest we've seen so far. Slow roll up to the black to take the first frame of this second set.
Yeah, make no mistake, this is no gimme. It's a good angle there, he's played that very confidently.
And that was that. Jordan Shepherd really doesn't like to take his time about things. That was beautifully done. Take a look at the stats so far. Couple of fouls.
See Jordan, when he has got in, he's made the most of his breaks, and you see that the breaks really are the key to these matches, especially at the very highest level on brand new tables, playing perfect playing conditions. The break really is the key, and I think Lee Clough went in off his last break, so pressure's on now.
And that looks like it's come up dry for Lee Clough. It has indeed. Maybe a little bit unlucky. Black's left itself in an interesting position on the top cushion.
Again, I think that's where you see the difference between this is where the argument comes into it. Hold on. Jordan's hit them as hard as he can, and look what happened. Lee's got a very good split, but I think you make a ball less often, I think.
So where the problem areas on this one, Jordan Shepherd takes the red.
It's all just about getting down table for this for these two reds at the bottom of the table. If you can clear those, he'll take these last three reds at the top of the table last. I think he just wanted to be a little bit straighter on this, but you see, this is missable, and if he does miss it, the yellows are absolute sitters. They play this with a trace aside. Just about caught, yes, that's just about.
Couldn't have been any closer to that
No.
near jaw.
He's going to play this with drag, which is you effectively, yeah, I mean, he's played that badly. He's just rushed that a little. And it wanted to cannon the yellow.
He's not happy with
He
himself.
really isn't happy at all, no.
He's not even got a shot to pot, I don't think, here.
No. But he can cut the red into the. He has got a shot. It's just again the cue ball's going to be all over the place, and just that simple thing of just keeping control of the white ball. And he could have cleared these, and you'd have been watching it as a viewer going, well, that was easy. It was easy because he made it look easy. Look at that. It's a great recovery pot.
Yeah.
And he's been unlucky, to be fair, but
The yellow is fine to go in, as he did pot the red. He's not annoyed about the yellow going in. He's annoyed about the red going safe with the black.
he is indeed. But you'll see now, he's only really got one option here, I think, which is to play this red into the top right corner. Oh no, no, he's coming down table. Can he cut it?
I think he tried to.
Yeah, and he's left a big pocket, so not the smartest. I thought he may have played the. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it was a great pot, but you were always trusting to luck, and he just hasn't. He didn't get any that time, so.
There's one thing that players will always try and avoid is leaving things up to Lady Luck.
You don't want to do it, no. There's so much luck involved. I thought what he could have possibly have done is, if he was going to go ultra aggressive, was play the red that was in the top right hand corner with left hand side, and he would have broke into the black and red that are tied together. But then you've got to trust them more luck, and then it all comes from running out of position in the first place.
And that big pocket is taken advantage of by Lee there.
Yeah, and I think again, if he's going to go game, you will see him get into this the red and the black at the top of the table straight away. I mean, he ideally probably
potential to do that with the ball on the right hand side over the pocket.
Exactly. I think he wanted to be slightly more over on the right hand side so that he could play. If he could have been sort of slightly more over here, he would have had more of a natural angle. You know, but he's still fine now. It's just that he can't play it as much of a natural shot. He needs to play it with stun, which makes it just that little bit more difficult.
Beautifully played.
He's played it well, and he's perfect. You can't ask for more than that.
Took the red out cleanly. What it does mean now, though, is there's no room for error, as the reds are now eminently potable. So Lee Clough has to be perfect from here, but that is the standard he'd set himself anyway.
It really is, yeah. So, I mean, this is the only thing that can go wrong. This isn't an absolute gimme, but the tower doesn't miss these. Heart of the pocket actually got too much into that. He could have pushed that yellow onto the side cushion there, but he's absolutely fine. I think he's got a full pocket for this into the bottom left corner as we look at the screen. If he does have a full pocket, then it really is simple.
This is the one he's just taking an eye on here.
Yeah, all he's
this
doing
is the one into the other pocket.
So all he's doing now is he's just figuring out, taking a moment or two, and this is what Lee's so good at. They may look simple, but he's just making sure that he does the right thing and takes the balls in the right order. So it clearly does go into the bottom left corner. I think he has he has 3/4 of a pocket, so should be fine. Probably stun it and just leave the white ball exactly where it is now, exactly where the yellow is now. Yeah, just stop the white exactly where it is. Now he's got a natural angle to come up table, and this should be one each. And it really should have been 2-0 Jordan. He did have a fairly easy finish there, and Jordan would be kicking himself.
I think he's already done a bit of that.
One cushion, 2 cushion, perfect.
Lovely shot from Lee Clough, and he is on his way to tying this second set up at 1 apiece. Leads, of course, by 1-0. Race to 4 per set, first of 3 sets in the first round of this World Championship. And that will be that for that second frame. Lee Clough will have been surprised to have even got a shot there, but he did take his opportunity well, and that's one thing that the veteran will do. Here's some live scores for you. Could start being made in a few of those games. Take a look at Gareth Hibbert and Ryan Clark, already 1 apiece. That game has flown by. Richard Tromey just about to get caught by Luke Sangers, I think, for 1-1 in that game, but fairly close across the board.
Again, we should see, this is where I can see Jordan getting back into the match, because so far he's had a couple of unlucky in-offs, but the most important shot in pool really is the break, and he seems to be connecting really well with them. Look at that. He's getting a little bit of top spin. Again, he's not quite got, no, he's got one. Last ball rolling.
Well,
Last
that
ball
makes
rolling. Wow.
all the difference there, because
Huge
look
difference.
at how well these balls are spread. He did not want to leave that table open.
Look at that. They're all dry, nothing. Dry break, here we come. Look at that last ball rolling. That kills you.
Well, if you're looking at how the balls are set here, this He's just taking a little look around the table, and I don't suppose there's any real problem areas here.
No, again, just minding his work, and wants to... Perfect. Now, it may have looked slightly risky, but you've always got this red at the top of the table over the pocket as your insurance policy. So again, he's got into his minor problem area straight away. He's done the right thing, and he's opened the frame up for himself.
When Jordan Shepherd gets down at the table and he's in his flow, it doesn't seem to take very long.
No, just a little fish face there, just for the cameras. It's nice of you, Jordan. Nice pout. He's probably not used to the TV. Okay, again, straight over his glasses.
Is there a fair bit of banter, would you say, between the players about the TV cameras being here?
Yeah.
In the bar afterwards, perhaps?
In the bar before, actually, I was speaking to Jordan, and we get on fairly well. He stayed at mine a couple of times, and when we've had local tournaments, and we do. Yeah, I can't tell you exactly what was said. But see, now again, he just hasn't settled properly in this match. He's just run out of position. He can cut this in. He can cut this, but the white's going all over the place. He really is. Yeah, he knows it's just these. He's getting first chance. He's just not taking them.
Mentioned a little bit off camera earlier, talking to a few of the players. They mentioned why Jordan was so exciting is because of stuff like that.
Look at it. He swerved
and
going
for the swerve shot there is a fine example.
Oh God, blimey! Look at him. That was harsh, but again, you make your own luck. You know, if he controlled the cue ball in the first place, he wouldn't have been in that position. But it happens. That's Paul. You know. He's close though. I think we'll see another swerve shot here.
I was going to say, has he perhaps got the scope to play another swerve shot?
I don't think he's got much choice. It's a perfect angle now. No, he's playing it into the corner. The cut into the corner.
Wasn't particularly close to it.
No, he's really not happy now.
Another example there for Jordan of a frame which really should have been his. Really should have been his to lose this. Looked fairly straightforward.
It isn't. These are the key frames. This is what's so good about the sets format is as you. I mean, Jordan's missed now, but Lee's come to the table and it's not easy. He's got 2 yellows on the side cushion. He can play one down the cushion, but the other one's covered by the red. It's 1-all. You know, the difference between going in a race to 4, the difference between going 2-1 up or 2-1 down is huge. And I think we're going to see Lee get onto his first ball off of the cushion now.
The problem ball, as it is that one there.
Problem ball's there. We've got another problem ball there. Now, we may see. I thought that he did have scope there to just play a snooker.
Resisted the urge.
See, now he's on his problem ball now, and this to me is still a 50-50 frame, because in my opinion I could possibly, and what you may have seen Lee Clough do on another day, is just laid a snooker on the yellow that he's playing now. Just got close to it, got up the other side of the yellow and laid a snooker. But he's going game, he's going attacking. I think that's what you do. If perhaps Lee was 2-1, was a set down in the match, you may have seen him lay the snooker there, but because he's a set up, he really wants to sort of kick his opponent while he's down. You know, see Jordan's frustrated.
It's nice to see, you know, Lee go on the offense here, isn't it? To really take the game to Jordan. That's what we're here to see, is good attacking Paul.
He's almost played. Has he played it perfect? Oh,
he's unlucky there.
Not quite hard enough, and you can see the yellow into the right middle went as well. So it was the right shot. It was the right shot. He just didn't quite hit it hard enough and execute it well enough. But it was a great effort. Always trusting a bit to luck there, but A bit firmer, a bit harder, and he'd have been on it. He's thinking he doesn't know what to do.
Oh, there's that yellow past the red into the middle. That's the question you'll be asking. I think it'll be very, very close.
I think they've only got half a pocket. You might see the experience come into play here with Lee. He's played pool at top level for a good 15-20 years now, and shot selection at crucial times of the match isn't something he's ever found wanting on, really. So you may see him go offensive. I can't see it, but then I can't really see a safety either, to be honest. It does go. He's going to try and push this yellow. No.
Nowhere near it in the end. It makes me think he played that deliberately.
No, he did. He's played a safety, and that's, again, like you say, there's experience coming in. He knows that, oh, yeah, Jordan can pot the red. You can get on the other one. Yeah, it's a smart shot. It really is. Sometimes you can be too aggressive for your own good, as
Double kiss has not been kind to Jordan Shepherd there.
it hasn't, but Lee's still got the so I'd say Lee's got the upper hand, but he's got to find a way to win this frame without pushing the boat out as such. You won't get many of these tactical frames, but when you do, now what he wants to do here, the yellow, which is in the bottom corner, which what we can see here, he wants to just leave the cue ball where the yellow is. So go cushion first, has to hit a cushion afterwards. He has done. That's perfect, and now he's snookered Jordan. He's not going to be too bothered if he doesn't snooker Jordan on this red on the bottom left hand corner, because as soon as he won't be too bothered if he hasn't snookered him, because he wants Jordan to play that. He can't make the ball, and unless that red's out of the way, Lee can't win the frame either. So Lee's got the upper hand here, and it's Lee's frame to throw away.
An interesting tactical battle.
He needs to force the error from Jordan, so you'll probably see him play exactly the same shot. Again, he's leaving himself down here, leave the white here. Then Jordan, he has to play the red over here. Now, if Jordan gets that red out of the way, Lee can win the frame.
That's the danger, isn't it, for Jordan? He has to play a ball, but he can't move it more than a couple of inches.
No, so Lee really has got the upper hand here. But strangely enough, he probably doesn't want to snooker Jordan. Another good shot. He doesn't want Jordan to be able to see the red at the top of the table. I don't think he can.
Yeah, you can just see Lee just having a little peek there down the line, just to make sure.
I think it might just be an edge hanging out there.
Jordan's just having a look. Might be able to swerve that around. He can maybe just see the tiniest fraction, but he's not going to take it on.
But see, what Lee wants is Jordan to play that red at the top of the table, to leave himself an angle to break into his bad ball. But Jordan's not letting him do that. Jordan knows exactly what Lee wants him to do. So we'll see the same shot again.
Just a game of cat and mouse, this really, isn't it? Trying to draw Jordan into playing the shot that Lee wants him to.
Yeah, and I think
from Jordan's perspective here, Dan, what's his game plan? Because obviously he's fighting against the tide a little bit here. What's the best he can really do?
Well, if Jordan can get himself right over into this corner here, he may be able to make that red into the left corner, and that's why he's two reasons he's put that red. Well, he's tried to put the red over the middle pocket. One, so that he can actually break into his bad ball if he gets the opportunity, but two, he may just be able to land on it. And if he can't land on it, what he can do is get really close to it, cover the pocket and leave the white wedged to the yellow, and then Lee will have no shot. Jordan just wanted to get that red over the middle pocket, which he's just failed to do.
At the table now. Is he going to take the pot on? Just looks to play the snooker once again.
Now that's perfect, again, because Jordan, I don't think he can hit the red at the top right of the table.
And again, that double kiss shot from Jordan. And now it's Lee who doesn't particularly want to leave the ball near the top of the table.
See a replay there. I don't know if that was awfully close to flicking the yellow first. See on the slow-mo there, as Lee thinks he's probably just going to play exactly the same shot, because eventually Jordan will give up the frame. So he just needs to snooker Jordan from the red at the top of the table and make him play the red at the bottom of the table.
And there's the shot once again from Lee. That's the last shot from Jordan.
As the referee... Oh, I think the referee's missed it. I think he's hit the yellow first, because we saw a little grip. Oh, and I don't think that's hit the cushion either. So that is a foul. That is 2 shots, because Jordan's come cushion first. We might need a replay again there, but because Jordan's come cushion first, and he wasn't total snookered. That's a foul shot. He didn't make it. The ball didn't hit the cushion after the initial contact. I don't know if the referee's picked up on that.
Here it is.
Now, you see, it just hits this left-hand side cushion before the red. And the white doesn't hit the cushion afterwards. Now, because of that, the red needs to hit the cushion, and it hasn't, and that's why it was a foul. The referee really was on the ball there, and it's one of those where we see it with football a lot, don't we? And when you get a super slow-mo and you can only just see it then, I mean, what chance has the referee got in real time? He's played an absolute shocker there, Lee.
He can't believe it.
He cannot believe it. I'm just going to have one more look at this. I think it just about shaves the yellow first. You can see the rotation of the red spots there as well, just drift. It just flicked the yellow first, I think. But Lee with his 2 shots there, that should have been frame over, and he's not played his first shot well. He's just trying to bring the yellow out away from the pocket. He's hit it slightly too hard, and it's now gone pretty much back to where it was before.
And amazingly, that has kept the frame alive here.
And also, if he does give Jordan a shot at the open red, the red that's next to the yellow does go now.
Fascinating tactical battle this, it really is, because obviously Lee can pop that ball into the middle pocket, but he will want to have more balls on the table. Gives him the advantage in this safety battle.
I think Lee will be trying to bring the if he can flick off this yellow in the centre of the table and leave the white over here, he'll be snookering Jordan, but he's got options. Again, he can just snooker Jordan just by flicking off the side of it, which he has done. Now, what he wanted to, he didn't want to leave the up and down, but to be fair, even if Jordan pots this red into the bottom left corner, he's not going to be on the other one anyway.
This is a this looks like a difficult snooker to get out of for Jordan.
We may see Jordan go 2 cushions. We may see Jordan go 2 cushions. No, he's gone 4.
My goodness
Get
me, what a
close, ref.
shot
What
that
a
is.
shot. That's the shot of the tournament. What a shot.
Well, we mentioned he's a phenomenally entertaining, creative player. That is not the way a lot of players would have gone. And
Really
if that
not,
ball
no.
had nestled in the pocket, I think we'd have been on for shot of the tournament.
I think we would, and then we'd have also seen John put the cue over his knee because he'd have been snooking on his final red. But he couldn't have played that any better because he didn't want to pot it. He was just trying to make it hit. He literally played that shot. You won't see many better shots than that. You can watch Paul for another 10 years.
Phenomenal shot from Jordan Shepherd.
So roles have slightly reversed it because now Jordan's got sort of got control now because he's got the red cover in the pocket, but because Lee's got one extra ball on the table, that kind of evens it up because Lee's always got that extra ball to try and lay a snooker.
This frame is over the half-hour mark.
John's looking at attacking. He's looking at playing the red into the cushion, playing the plant, and then the red's going to come out, which
Brilliant.
he has done. Oh, I don't know. I don't think he's on it. If he can make it, he hasn't got a full pocket. He thinks he can make it.
Let's have a little look.
He can't make that.
You can't.
He couldn't make that. We're saying we think both at the same time. Oh, wow. I think it... Is it both at the same time or is it red first? No. Well done, referee.
Now, where does the balance of power lie here?
If that slow-mo was any slower, it'd have been paused. VAR in Paul, maybe. I think that's what we need, but to be fair, we see it in snooker sometimes when the balls when we see a foul and a miss, we see the balls getting replaced. They get a bit of help from the cameras. Let's have a look. So again, Jordan can't cut this in. He's just going to probably try and... Okay, he's coming cushion first. It's a very clever shot. If he'd have hit that a little bit harder, he would have been perfect because he ideally wanted to leave Lee wedged. Wanted to leave Lee wedged behind this yellow at the bottom of the table, and then he would have been in a bit of a spot of bother. A 34-minute frame.
And counting.
I think the whole first set took 35 minutes, didn't it?
37.
It's been a terrifically long frame, and the end isn't in sight just yet. Really tactical battle, this. And credit to Jordan Shepherd as well for sticking in there, because he now almost has the upper hand, and he definitely didn't.
Yeah, clever shot again from Lee. Wants that yellow to just come away from the side cushion. That's a really good shot. I think Lee's close to winning this frame now. Jordan hasn't really got an awful lot he can do here. He's probably going to come cushion first with right-hand side. You're probably going to see here with right-hand side and yep, into the cushion. So, but again, it's just an easy snooker. I mean, it's just an easy snooker. You can literally go anywhere up here. I mean, you could make this circle as big as you want, and there's absolutely nothing Jordan can do. You'd half be tempted to not leave Jordan snookered. Cover the pocket with a yellow into the bottom right-hand corner, the one he's looking at now, and not leave Jordan snookered, so he has to play the red.
30 seconds.
I can't see Jordan winning this frame. So, yeah, again, he's still in control, but he has tied the yellow up next to the black, which might well give Jordan just one extra shot. We're going to see another swerve shot here from Jordan.
And the freer that yellow gets, the more likely that Lee's going to be able to do something with it. What's Lee thinking here then, Dan? What's he going to try and make?
Well, he wants to win the frame without giving Jordan a chance. I mean, he could just free the yellow up from the black, put the yellow somewhere around about here, which means that Jordan isn't going to be able to double the red. He's played that. That's good. It's a very good shot, because both Lee's other yellows are out in the open now, so the moment Jordan moves this red away, it's game over.
He has to constantly keep playing it at a very, very slow pace.
Constantly, yeah, and I think the longer this goes on, we're getting closer and closer to Jordan having to play somewhat of a hit and hope, really. The extravagant shot here would be for Lee to play the long plant up the table, but it's just not worth the risk because you're so in control. It wouldn't be that difficult a shot to make, but see, he's looking up at it, but it's just not worth the risk for me.
30 seconds.
He's having a good long hard look at it, isn't he?
He's having a good look at it. I think he's got fed up of trying to force the error out of Jordan. I mean, he's already done it once and didn't get the desired result.
So, different angle of snooker now for Jordan Shepherd to contend with. And it looks like he's going to try and swerve this around.
Oh well, referee. That was good.
Oh,
that was good. Oh my God, blimey.
Me. that, I tell you what, that was nearly shot the tournament.
That was close. It was very close.
To bend that around the snookered ball and nearly get it in the pocket. Here you go. Here's the angle of the swerve. Look how much this bends around.
You see, yeah, red first.
Effort.
Slightly thicker contact and he'd have made that ball. And now we're looking at Lee Clough going 2-1 up, which I mean, Jordan's had chance in each frame here. This easily, on another day, could have been 3-0 to Jordan in this set. And he's looking at staring a 2-1 deficit, and that's tough to take, especially in this sets format. Just look at this again. Look at the spin.
Very unlucky. But if you think back down to where this frame all those minutes ago started, Lee Clough about to sweep up here to make it 2-1. If you think back to where it started, Jordan on the break with a pretty routine cleanup and got himself into trouble, and all of a sudden he's 2-1 down.
Indeed, and that's going to be really hard for Jordan to take, because he knows he should be 3-0 up in this set. When you're already a set down, it's very easy for the match to get away from you.
Lee Clough will be absolutely delighted to get through the other side of that frame. Very long tactical battle, but also one he should have won once already when he had the free ball in hand, and it did not go to plan. There's a shot of the other tables. Plenty of action here at the Cedar Court Hotel in Bradford.
Fourth frame, Lee Clough to break. Sitting by 2 frames to 1.
So Lee Clough to break then. 2-1 up and 1 set up. One down.
Yeah.
Not the best split in it.
No, he's made a ball again, but as you see, you just don't get the... Or Lee hasn't managed to get the action on the... Look, you see the pack when Jordan breaks. 10 of the balls are flying around the table. You know, and with Lee's, he's maybe got 5. He just... There's pros and cons to the break, but we could go on about it all day.
Well, we've got the time, Danny, if you need to.
We often... That's what people would be talking about in the bar. You know, a player wins a tournament like, say, a Mark Boyle, who's won a couple of big events this year, and he uses the cup break to really good effect. But then when you watch other players using it, and it doesn't work, you know, that's where you start talking about it. But the cup break, I never saw the cup break until maybe 10 years ago was the first time I saw it. Only probably been playing 30 myself, probably been playing for about 16, 17 years myself, and the cup break was never a thing, but you do it. And
is it something that maybe came through from American 9-ball pool, maybe? As a sort of stylistic?
I don't know. I mean, maybe with 9-ball, when you watch 9-ball, they do hit the front ball, but they always hit it half ball, you know, and take the white over to the left-hand side of the table, or whichever side they break from. I don't know. I think, you know, once you see one player doing something, and it seems to work for him, everybody tries it. You know, Mark Boyle, this last season, he won a couple of tours back-to-back using the cup break to really good effect. Before you know it, 5 or 10 of the other pros are trying to cup break at the next tournament. You know, and they lose the match, and guess what they blame? The cup break. See, Lee's taken control. We're going to see Jordan. I think if that goes into the... Oh, no. That might still drop. Oh, wow.
That was very close.
Oh, wow. He is not happy at all.
It's not quite going his way.
If he hits that any softer, that goes.
Terrific effort from Jordan Shepherd, but it does let Lee in here. He'll want to avoid using the rest if he can avoid it. This is probably the very tip of his distance.
I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", Lee as well, so he's not used to stretching like that on a pool table.
There's a reason they call him the tower. That was more like the tripod, but...
But again, this is key. I say it a lot, you will hear it a lot, especially in sets play, but Jordan's missed a chance there. If that red goes in, he's got a chance to make it 2 each, and now Lee, at 1 set up, is now looking at like taking a 3 frames to 1 lead in this set, which is...
That's the one thing I think you notice in set play in particular is the difference between 2 each and 3-1 is so big, and the fourth frame here is always so important.
Yeah, and I think you see there as well from the difference where Lee's played that ball at pocket weight. It's just shaved the cushion before it's gone in, but because of the weight he's played it at, it's gone in.
So Lee in pole position here to move on up to these 2 yellows at the top of the table and to put himself 3-1 up. See there the black sitting in the middle of the table.
Yeah, just needs to mind he doesn't go behind the red here. It's the only thing that can go wrong, but he should be fine. He's going to play it fairly gently. No, he's going to come behind it. And that's perfect.
This now is fairly straightforward for Lee. Clough has the angle to get back up the table as well.
You see there at the very start of the frame, where Lee's covered the bottom left corner pocket with one of his balls, as opposed to pushing the boat out and going for it, and ultimately that is what's won in this frame. Again, it's the contrast in styles, but that's what you get with these two, and that shot ultimately, Jordan at 2-1 down has felt like he's had to push the boat out and go for it. Unfortunately, that ball in the top right corner has just wobbled, and Lee's had a fairly simple finish from there.
Let's take a look at around the tables here then in Bradford. Some interesting games developing. Plenty of games remain 1-0. Mickey Eller and Ben Davies very close. Ross Fernie and Dave Rawlinson as well. Close to going the distance in that second set. Gareth Hibbert and Ryan Clark already have done. It's 1-1 on that table. It's going to be Jordan to break, and as Dan's alluded to, his breaking has actually been very, very impressive.
Yeah, he seems to be getting first chance, he's just not taking them. Again, a good break. He's a little bit of topspin there. But you see nothing down. That's a dry break from Jordan, but 10 of the balls are in the other half of the table. You know, he really is getting into them well, and this is where the luck element of it comes into it. He's hit them really well. There's nothing more you can do. There's nothing down.
Lee just having a scan of the table here. Top view. He's going to take this one at the bottom of the table, and the rest of the balls here gathered in the middle.
He's just got this yellow here, which is his problem area. He'll want to get into that as soon as he can. He should be able to leave himself the angle on one of his next couple of shots, just to play a nudge, a cannon. I mean, there is a gap that he can land on to go through those two reds. He doesn't want to do that if he can help it, because he's going to have opportunity to just make this frame really easy for himself. So ideally, he's probably going to want to leave the yellow into the left middle pocket as his last ball. Doesn't want to move it with this one. There we go. So that'll be his last ball to get onto the black. So now it's just a case of he should play the cannon now, flick into this red just above the yellow, and that should open the frame up for him. It's all about the pace. If you play this at the right pace, you can't fail to be on another yellow, and that's the benefit of going into it as early as possible in the frame.
This could well be the key shot then for Lee Clough. And that's not quite worked out as he would have liked. He has freed the yellow up. The one in the middle of the pool near the blue spot will go into the middle pocket.
I think it does. I think the black still goes. I think the black just goes past the red into the top left corner. I don't know if we can get an angle at that, but if it does, then it's still frame over for me. Lee again, just this. It's all about the order he takes the balls. Okay, so he's just going to leave himself. Right, so this ball's next after this. He's just going to want to get the white ball just slightly further over. He may be coming right over the way. Right over to the side of the table. He has done. Depends what angle he's got. So that's perfect. He just needs to. He'll play this with a trace of left-hand side to straighten the angle up. Otherwise, he'll be cannoning these two reds in the middle of the table. So makes the pot slightly missable, but trace the left-hand side, and this should be set over. I'm assuming the black goes. It must do because of the way he's took the finish out. You see the left-hand side he's played on there to straighten up the shot, and it's
yeah, lovely bit of check side, that one.
Yep.
And this is just a drop in to leave himself the black down the cushion, which will make it 2-0. It could so easily have been all different for Jordan Shepherd, but for the Welshman it will be a case of what could have been. It's Lee Clough here is on the march. And he drops the black in to make it 4 frames to 1 and 2 sets to 0. Lee Clough is 1 away here from a victory over Jordan Shepherd, who has resembled a picture of frustration throughout these first 2 sets. It was an amazing tactical battle in that set, which really made us sit on the edge of our seats for a very long time. But apart from that, it was pretty quick work for Lee Clough.
The frame took 35 minutes and the other 4 frames took 10 minutes combined. I mean, that's pulled all over.
It really is. Can Jordan Shepherd come back? We'll find out after the break. A very warm welcome back to the Cedar Court Hotel in Bradford. 2008 IPA Pool World Championships. And we're on to our second game of the day here on the main table. Lee Clough versus Jordan Shepherd. And that's the story of the game so far. A really, really strange second set, because one of those frames took us well over half an hour. The rest whipped through in about 15 minutes. A very, very bizarre set of pool.
35-minute frame of pool, and the other 4 frames took about 10-12 minutes between them. But it can go like that sometimes.
And in terms of, from a player's perspective, is it sometimes quite difficult to adjust from going from playing a very, very long tactical frame to then getting into the flow of a quick style?
Can be, yeah. It gets you out of your rhythm. So, you know, Jordan's very much a rhythm player. That frame, to be fair, win or lose, that frame really does suit Lee, because Lee has definitely got the best temperament of the two. Jordan will be the first to admit that as well. And Jordan's a rhythm player, so don't be surprised to see Jordan rattle off 2 sets in 45 minutes. You know, if Jordan gets his hand to the table and gets a rhythm going, he can still win this match. That's the beauty of the sets format, really.
This was a good break from Lee Clough. He has been a little bit, not weak, but suspect on his breaks, maybe a touch. Jordan's definitely been breaking the better, splitting the balls far wider, but this is far more like it from Lee. This is a good spread. Yeah,
and I think reds at the ball here. I think the reds at the 2 reds at the bottom of the table, they look like a problem, but I think if you get on it, then they're an easy plant. So the frame's there for Lee, because the black also passes the yellow into this bottom left corner as well. Should be a fairly straightforward frame. Again, just need to control that white ball, because if you control the white ball, it just makes the frame so easy.
And you mentioned when a player sees a problem, they want to get that problem out of the way straight away. The plan does look like it may well be on here for Lee.
Yeah, I think he wants to leave the white sort of roughly where the red is that he's going to take into this right middle, to the middle pocket next. Maybe just come back a little bit. You can see from the angle there it is a straight plant, so to make the shot itself isn't difficult. It's just that you need to leave yourself the right angle so that getting position afterwards is simple. So if he's got the right angle here, and I think he's about right, he's about perfect. I'll just want to bring the white ball back a little bit, and you'll see the first red that he's about to hit will stay pretty much where the second red is, and then Lee will just draw the cue ball back, and it'll be perfectly in position still. There you go. So one good positional shot up table. Doesn't want to flick this first yellow on the way back up, and has to get the cannon right if he is going to flick the yellow that he's just pointing his cue towards.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lee helping us out there by drawing his flight path for us.
Yeah, he's
that's what he's looking at.
Got a third commentator. Now, if he hits it half ball or quarter ball, he's absolutely fine. Doesn't want to hit it too thick. No, well, that's okay. Didn't want to hit it the other side, because the white would have gone towards the side cushion, but would have preferred to have been closer to the reds, but he's absolutely fine. Two sets up as well. He should be relaxed now. I don't expect to see any sort of silly mistakes from Lee.
Yeah, he's very much into his game now, isn't he? Not, maybe wouldn't feel as comfortable if this was the very first frame of the match, but he's playing well, 2 sets up.
Yeah, just slightly awkward queuing. So he's queuing down, doesn't necessarily want any unwanted side because he could miss the ball from that, but should be fine. He's queued it really well. A great queue, actually. Very smooth. Like any else.
A frustrating watch here for Jordan, but that's something as a pool player you've just got to get used to. Sometimes you just don't get shots in frames, especially at this sort of level when the players are so good.
You don't know, and this will be another break and dish for Lee. It's perfectly controlled.
And there is the other side of...
Yeah, not a happy chappy.
And Lee wants the black for a 1-frame lead in set number 3. And this will be a clean-up. Beautifully done from the man they call the Tower, who's putting in a towering display here. His opponent, Jordan Shepherd, has been pretty good of late. Got to the UK final, which he was defeated in by Ben Davies earlier on this year, or last year I should say, in June. He's been in decent form, generally speaking. Has struggled in his last 2 tournaments, though.
Yeah, you always see this at the start. The World Championships is the first tournament of the season for us. So there's many people that will be coming into this, and normally, you know, you're in a tournament in July, August, September, and everyone goes, "Oh, Jordan's playing well at the moment. You know, he's got a good chance." But there's normally a 2-3 month period where there aren't any professional events. It's sort of like the off season, I suppose, and nobody really knows how anyone's playing. So you just don't know, really. I mean, he could have been playing in lots of local events, keeping his arm going. He may not have played at all and just put the hours in. You know, in the couple of weeks before, he may have been playing 4 or 5 times a week in the couple of weeks before this tournament. You don't know, really. Nobody knows how everybody's sort of been playing, I suppose, unless you're local to them or practice partners. But later in the season, you have much more of an idea, because you literally can go, well, yeah, you know, you got to the semis of the last tournament, and that was only 3 weeks ago. So it is the season starter for us, the World Championships.
And this is the lay of the land as it stands. And a dry break from Jordan Shepherd, so Lee Clough at the table. What's he looking at here, Dan? What would you say is the best colour to go for, first of all?
I think he wants to be yellows. He wants to be yellows. It's just the yellow he's going for now was kind of the one that I wouldn't be sure whether he can see enough of it to pot, and he can. So doesn't want to land too close to the. Okay, he's okay. Would have loved for that white to have carried on a couple more inches and then to be on his problem ball here that's on the side cushion. So it's all about just getting on this problem ball that's wedged to the side cushion. You can either get on it and play it down the cushion, or you can leave yourself an angle to break it out. But if you're going to do that, you want to do that early frame. Don't want to leave it to your last ball. What I think we'll probably see, Lee will probably take the other five yellows out. This will be his toughest shot until he gets to that final ball. So he's played that absolutely fine. He's probably going to leave this yellow over on the right hand side of the table on the cushion until his last ball, because he can just concentrate solely on the pot then, and his guaranteed position on the black. When you're 2 sets up and 1 set up, if you can guarantee yourself a shot on the black, you'd rather do it. Don't try and overcomplicate things. Would have loved to have been a little bit straight on this yellow though.
He's almost looking at this shot like a free kick, with the 3 reds being the wall in the middle.
Yeah.
That's how the setup of the table is at the moment.
May see him play a cannon. May see him play a cannon into the red closest to the centre of the table. Yeah, look, so he's just held perfectly there. and might just make it a little bit easier for himself. May even see him play another cannon. Yellow into the top left corner and stun across to push the yellow towards the right middle pocket. If he can do that, he can take that yellow into the middle pocket, then the one down the cushion, and then the yellow into the leaving yourself an easy yellow into the left middle. So he may play a full ball cannon here. He has
played that perfectly.
He's played it well. Would have liked it to have been closer to the pocket so he could then get onto his ball down the cushion. So still
Can he
work.
still play it and leave it just above the pocket, maybe?
He
That's a
can.
little
He's
bit of
just going
distance
to leave
between the
himself
ball.
distance. Yeah. So it's one of those. He sort of played it well, but not quite perfectly. And there's still work to do.
I take back my perfectly, don't worry. It's always going to be a tough pot when it's there, especially with the added distance, but he has to take it on at some point.
Maybe looking to come around the angles here. No, he's played the double. It's a great shot. He's played the double, and you can see he just about got the gap to put his cue in between these two reds.
And we'll just take a little look back at that double in a moment, but that's the gap you were talking about. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, no, these are tough because he does need to play this fairly firmly because he needs to top the white through to leave himself the angle to get on the black. Tough shot.
Played it beautifully there.
Nailed it. Very good.
Really nicely done from Lee Clough.
Would have liked to have been a little bit further up, and then it literally is frame over, but he's a little bit lower on the yellow than he wanted to be. Still should be fine. He's just going to have to leave a little bit of distance between the white and the black.
Clough this into the middle pocket. As Dan alluded to, not the easiest shot on the black, but you just want to give yourself a shot on the black at this stage.
Of course, especially 2-0 up and 1-0 up, but would have liked to have just been, see that shot again. That's the key to the frame. It's a really, when you're right behind it, it's not actually that difficult a shot, but still needs executing. And this is the black for the frame. No, he's missed it. Wow, he's missed that by a mile as well.
I was going to say, he wasn't too close to that lead, Clough, and he might just have given Jordan an opening here, and the way things have been going for Jordan Shepherd, this is what he's been crying out for, is it?
It's exactly what he's been crying out for. He's crying out for an error from Lee, which is going to play on his mind, and Jordan just needs to capitalise on this, and he needs to take these out now as well. But because when you're 2-0 up, you've missed a black to go 2-0 up in the set as well. If it's then 1-1, Jordan breaks and clears the next frame, all of a sudden the momentum's changed, you know.
Well, that was the first shot that Jordan Shepherd played.
He's just playing a snooker and he's just made the ball. So I think that may have forced Jordan to go for the clearance here.
Well, that would have been considered the sort of difficult ball in that scenario, because getting onto the one on the bottom cushion wasn't easy, but when the ball goes in, it becomes a little bit easier. And these three balls in the middle, we'll be hoping they don't cancel each other out, and they don't. It's a lovely shot into the far corner.
Really nicely controlled, yeah.
And you just see Lee take a little look away there. I think he's aware he's in a little bit of trouble.
He knows what he's done. He's just given Jordan a chance to get some momentum together, and he hasn't. He's perfect.
And generally speaking, you can't give Jordan Shepherd an empty table and 7 balls to go at.
No, all of a sudden Lee looks like the one that's 2 sets down. Oh,
That one
about.
wiped its feet on the way in.
Any harder, that wouldn't have gone in.
Well, how things can change so quickly in the game of pool. And there goes Jordan Shepherd. He's on the board in set number 3. Boy, did he need that. Little stomp of the cue on the ground there. He's pleased with that, I think. He's still got the face of a man who would like things to be going far better, but that's about as good as that frame could have gone for him, because Lee Clough let him in there.
Make no mistake, Jordan thinks he can still win this match. He knows he can still win this match. This is the beauty of sets play. He's 9-4 down, but he's 1-all in this set. If he can win this set, he'll still be 9-7 down, but that's if he reels off the next 3, but the momentum's changed, and the mindset of each player has changed as well. You can see there, we talk about the breaks, but Lee's only had 2 dry breaks, and Jordan's had 4.
The big thing for me there is the reverse dishes as well. Jordan none and Lee 3 makes such a difference.
Massively, because again, it's Jordan's dry broke 4 times, and Lee's just finished the frame in 1 visit 3 of those times, and that's a set gone straight away. Another ball made from the break, 2 from the break there from Lee.
He's breaking very well in this second set in particular. His first one was good as well. Let's have a look at the break again. Yellow went in straight away, and the red.
Good firm strike, and I mean, in this match, it's turned out that although it looks like Jordan's had the better break, the more consistent break has been Lee, because it doesn't matter if you pot 4, 5, 6 balls off the break. You just want one. You just want your next visit to the table.
I mean, looking at the yellows, here's Lee. And let's have a little look as to why. Is there any issues you can spot here, Dan, or is it pretty straightforward?
Only the black needs to... probably doesn't want to be developing the black, because it does go. What you may see is you may see Lee, the yellow there, bit too big of a circle there. I'll draw it for you in a second. But if he can get rid of these balls on the left hand side, on the top end of the table, leave himself topside around about here, and then once he pots this yellow, you can leave the cue ball in and around here to play the black into the middle. Maybe an option. He may also, depending on what angle he gets, stun in to this red here and leave an easy black, but we'll see how the frame goes.
30 seconds.
3 balls left then for Lee Clough.
Probably going to see a little huff here, a little huff and a puff, because
he didn't like that at all, did he?
no, he's left himself cueing off the cushion, which he really didn't want to do. Because what he would have liked to have done, if the cue ball could have been, here, he could have stunned this yellow and left himself simple to get the white where he needs to get it for his last ball to get on the black, but he's just cueing off the cushion.
When you're on the cushion, you can't get much cue ball control. You can only hit the top of the ball, especially with pool cue balls, as they are a little bit smaller than the rest of the balls as well.
DJ, and he's to get the cue ball where he wants, he's going to have to be jacking up, as we call it, so he may have changed his plan altogether. Well, are we going to see him play the shot now where he stuns into... I don't know if he's got the angle. If he can stun into that red, leave the cue ball there, then it's frame over. But I don't know if he's got the angle. I think he has, because he's just about perfect, I think. It's all about judging this cannon. Half ball, full ball, 3/4 ball was fine. You don't want to flick the black first. He's missed the cannon.
That's a knock on the table of sheer frustration.
Knock on the table, there's a warning. No, it's so now you're now he needs a bit of magic with a white ball. He can potentially play this with a bit of stun and a bit of side. Come back down anywhere here, I suppose. Tough shot though.
He's played it dead weight.
Yeah, he's going to leave himself the back double into the left middle pocket.
Well, this would be a champagne way to end the frame. It's not the way he would have chosen to end the frame.
No, you can see there he's just lining up where he wants the black to hit the right hand side cushion. He's going to get down and he's going to play the double. This is potentially one of the biggest shots of the match, because it's the difference between going 2-1 up and 2-1 down in this set. And
here it comes. This for 2-1 in this frame.
he's missed it. Did it too thick?
He may well, if he'd have hit that hard, have gone in the other pocket, but yeah, not too close to the pocket he was intending. And we're about to see another clean-up operation from Jordan Shepherd.
Yeah, you can see it sort of looked like it just straightened up a little bit, and that's because on these cloths he's played it a bit firmer. But that's 2 frames in a row now where Lee Clough has got to the black and missed.
And as we mentioned in the last frame, you give Jordan Shepherd an empty table and 7 balls to attack. That is not the strategy you realistically want to employ.
It's not, no.
Because sometimes Jordan's problem can be cue ball control when it gets caught behind yellows and loose cannons and stuff like that. No such room for error here. He can see all the balls he wants to pot.
He can. He's just got one. The only thing that can go wrong is the red on the back cushion here, because it's not easy. It's on the cushion, so he needs to cue this well. Hasn't played that well at all. He just wanted to stun the white ball there. He's played an absolute shocker there.
He knows it.
He knows it all right. Look at his face. He's fuming. Absolutely fuming.
Makes his next shot very, very difficult because he can't get up the table very far with this angle.
That's right. He needed to be here so that he could play. Oh, it's not dropped. It's not dropped. He's tried to force the angle to get the white ball off the cushion. And
just have a look there to see if the black's safe. You can see that's the angle. This is not an easy pot.
What a black this will be.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how that's not dropped.
No, again, he's hit it too hard. So if he'd have hit that any softer, it would have gone in. But he was trying to just get the white ball off the back cushion for his next shot.
It is hanging over the edge of the pocket. Lee's having a really good look at this.
See Lee there, he's just looked over. He was just waiting for 30 seconds to be called, because as you know, we've got a 60-second shot clock, and can be a little bit off-putting getting 30 seconds called.
It's a really good effort.
Oh no, I sent heart of the pocket.
And a big fist pump from Lee Clough as well. He enjoyed that one. He's let off the hook.
They almost feel the best sometimes when you let your opponent off and then he gives you another chance. You know, they're the ones that hurt the most, especially for Jordan. Look at that, just about. Wow.
Terrific shot from Lee Clough, and that could be a really, really crucial pot on his way to a potential victory here. He's looking good. He's already 2 sets up. 3, of course, wins it.
All Jordan's thinking is just to try and nick this set.
Well, let's have a look around the other tables as well. Some good games going on. 2-1 looks like it's about to become 2-2 between Ross Fernie and Dave Rawlinson in that game. And don't forget, if you want to keep up to date with all the other table scores, you can go to ipopool.com. We're going to stick with the action here with Jordan and Lee.
Look at this. Look, the balls are going absolutely everywhere. He's really connected well. Hasn't made a ball. Another dry. Jordan's fifth dry break now, but look where he's left the white ball.
Really is incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible.
See, Jordan did actually apologise to Lee there as well, because, you know...
No player intends to do that, and no player envies the other one in that situation. It's the best possible dry break, but it really does make it difficult. Or the player about to play a shot, which is Lee Clough.
You see it's 2-1 to Lee Clough in this set now. And I think Jordan's got to push the boat out. I can't see Jordan playing safe here. He can. Yeah, he's gone for the plant on there. He's gone for the plant there, so he's missed that. He's going to give Lee chance to, I think, first shot possibly to play this yellow into this corner, into this middle pocket, sorry, and screw into these two over here on the left-hand side. No, he's not looking at it. I think he'd just about get through to the yellow into the middle. Looking at cutting this yellow into the middle. I think just about see enough of the edge to be able to make it. This will free up the yellow that's just above it as well.
Oh, that's a lovely shot.
He's used the red as well, which he always knew he could. It effectively made the pocket a little bit bigger than it was, but you see, he just flicks off the red to make this yellow. He could always afford to miss it slightly thick, because that was always going to happen.
Yeah, that was his safety net, wasn't it? He's just taking a look down the table as well, just to have a look at the other yellow into the bottom right corner. I think he likes it. That's the one he's looking at.
Again, what we'll see here is Lee will, as soon as, see, there we go, just flicking off the red. He knew he could afford to miss it slightly thick, so it's not really a fluke to be, in my eyes. But you can see Lee's looking at getting into his bad ball as soon as possible. He'll just want to leave himself. He'll just want to leave himself an angle somewhere around about here, so that he's got the angle to naturally go into those two balls. Don't think you'll see him. There we go. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So he's going to take on the yellow on the inside and then use that natural angle just to break into the yellow and red on the left.
What you'll see as well, he's guaranteed, as long as he plays it at the right pace, he's guaranteed to be on this yellow in the centre of the table. And that's the benefit of going into your bad balls early doors, because you're always going to have options. As long as you don't hit it too hard. Oh, that's a little unfortunate.
Well, he's on it, but the queuing isn't nice.
No. Yeah,
as you mentioned, you're very right. He was guaranteed to be on the ball in the middle pocket, but it's an unfortunate kiss for him.
Yeah, I think he probably, in hindsight, probably wanted to flick this yellow first. And he's just missed it, because if he flicks the yellow, it goes towards the cushion and back out again, but he's just hit the... I suppose in a way it's an error, but still unlucky. I mean, that could have gone anywhere after that.
That's the element of pool which is so variable when you introduce cannons and the like into any break. It is just that variable which, no matter how good the pool player is, no matter how many variables they think they can control, as soon as you introduce a cannon, you are introducing that little element of luck.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier in the match that you don't really want to have to cannon anything or break into balls unless you have to. If you can just leave yourself a pot, albeit a more difficult one, quite often you will see the top players do that.
He did handle that shot pretty well, and I think he's looking at this yellow. I think it goes into this bottom pocket.
If it does, he has a shot on it, but it's tight. Don't know if he can just get past that red. Perhaps he can't, because I think he's looking at playing the cross double. You know, he can't see enough of it to pot it, so I think he's looking at the cross double here, and he'll have to be careful of the double kiss on the way back up the table.
This would be some shot.
There's a
Oh,
double
he's
kiss.
unlucky.
Dreaded double kiss. I think it was on its way to the pocket as well. See again, I think it was maybe just about going to miss, but again he did get that double kiss. Maybe if he'd have hit it a little bit thinner so that he would have made the pot an angle, he might not have got the double kiss.
Yeah, if buts and maybes for Lee Clough. He is back at the table now. He's not, I don't think he's got anything to pot. Although,
I think he might just have the edge of this yellow.
that's what I was wondering.
At the top of the table, but how do you get on the other yellow from there? I mean, there's almost nothing you can do. I don't think you can either. He might be playing the cocked hat, which is 3 cushions, side cushion, back cushion, side cushion. He has played it. Another double kiss, because the double didn't go there.
He very nearly got a very, very lucky double kiss, which stuck him in the pocket.
See, Jordan's marched out of his... He's out like a whippet. He's in a rush. This is what Jordan does. He's got the hump now. Let's make no mistake about it. He's got the hump, because he's played nowhere near as good as how he knows he can play and how he does normally play. He's normally, when we're on the stream, he's normally one of the players that really does rise to it, and he'll be frustrated, but he's still in this match. If he can just nick this set, he'll almost feel like it's a 50-50 match again.
He's left himself slightly awkward there. He's been annoyed with himself. A bit closer to the yellow than he would have liked. Still
Good
manages
shot.
to squeeze it in.
Good
Won't
shot. Needs to
mind that
carry on
too
running.
much. I think just kissing that yellow just helped take a little bit of pace off the ball. Wanted it a little bit further up the table, but he makes no mistake with that.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he? This is what Jordan does when he's got the hump. He speeds up.
And he really has rattled off the rest of that frame. See you later. What a fantastic little break that was from Jordan Shepherd. Very good indeed.
Yeah, so 2 each in the set.
So this is how the match is looking. Still, the frames won is massively in Lee Clough's favour, but this set could go either way.
That's what we're saying. So if you look at this, let's say for example this set goes 4-3 to Jordan, we'll then be looking at 11-7 to Lee, which is a fair, it's a fair, you know, margin, I suppose. But at 2-1, it's anyone's game. You know, but we're two frames away, potentially 10 minutes away from 3-0. You look back at 3-0, you go, well, that was easy. If this goes Jordan's way, we've still got a match on our hands.
No, absolutely. Interesting game developing here, particularly if Jordan Shepherd can win this set. That is an if, though. Lee Clough is still playing pretty well. He is making an awkward habit of letting Jordan Shepherd back into frames, though.
Yeah, and I think the first couple of sets, it was a case of Jordan making mistakes and Lee punishing Jordan every single time, and Lee's made a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden this role's reversed. I mean, you can see from the body language, Jordan's really up for this now. He's just gone to the toilet, he's just pointing to the rack now. Oh, I think they've been set up incorrectly.
They have.
They have.
That's a good spot. Yep, red and yellow just needed swapping out there.
There we go. See Scott there, our referee, Scott McMillan. As you should do, you lift the black ball. That's how it was before, look, you see.
Yeah, the bottom red and yellow in the middle is the wrong way around.
There we go. It's a long day for the referees. So Key break. Needs a ball. Again.
That looks pretty dry, but inviting. Look how quick he is to the table. It's very open. It might well be dry, but this is prime Jordan Shepherd territory, this.
Oh, he loves it.
And to be honest here, Dan, you could pretty much pick any colour.
He clears on either colour here for me.
There's no real problem issues. Every ball pretty open. No balls really covering each other over more than one pocket.
No, I think he prefers to go reds. Prefers to go reds, but the first red is more difficult. So I think he's cutting this into the side pocket. The shot needs to get the cue ball back out. It's perfect. So may see him play this red off of the yellow to put the yellow safe for a bit of insurance. It's always nice to know that your opponent's got an extra ball safe. There we go.
Yeah, good call.
You just wanted a bit more angle. So, but he should be fine. He's happy with that. You can see by his body. Oh, I think he's just about okay. I think he can just about cue to the centre of the white ball. Yeah, it's a good ball. It's a legal shot. The yellow didn't move.
Yeah, that's the one he just over cued a touch. Jordan Shepherd beating our cameraman here. He's that quick.
Yeah, you don't want to show replays when Jordan's on a clearance. You'll miss 3 pots.
Goodness me, he does not hang around, does he? And he is 2 balls away from making this 3-2.
Yeah, and a dry break from Lee and a reverse dish.
It's interesting, isn't it? We've actually seen, we've mentioned throughout with the breaks, obviously the most important shot in pool, and Jordan has been breaking very powerfully and splitting the balls a lot. And when he pots a ball, he tends to pot 2 or 3, but there's been a lot of dry breaks. I think that may even be Lee's second dry break. Hasn't been many.
Only a second dry break, I think, yeah.
And Jordan is straight on it.
No, third dry break from Lee. But Jordan's had 5, even though to me, and again,
he seems to be breaking the better.
Seems to be breaking the better, but on another day, it could just be different. I mean, that's the luck element of the game.
And here we go with the live scores from around the tables. Jake Dillon-Newlow and Nicky Griffiths has gone to a decider at the bottom of that picture. So too Ross Fernie and Dave Rawlinson. They'll be duking it out.
See, Simon Webb, our commentator in the first match, is a set-up on 1-1 against Anthony Morris. And tough battle at the bottom there. Two very, very good amateurs, well, professionals now, actually. I think Greg Batten's a professional. 2-1 in sets to Scott Ross and 2-all, so that's really sort of hanging in the balance there.
Another re-rack been asked for by Jordan Shepherd.
So you see the racker that we use to set the balls up. It's just got a little device at the bottom where you can, a little spring mechanism, where you can push the balls in tight, then release, and then it gives you a bit more room to lift the triangle carefully off the pack without disturbing any of the balls. Jordan's break again. That's a big break. Has he made a ball?
He absolutely
again hasn't made a ball.
Crashed into them. You just get the sense that Jordan Shepherd's really, really up for this. He's just hitting the ball very, very hard.
Another dry break, and he really hasn't hit them badly.
But for the second time in a row, the last time Jordan Shepherd broke, if you remember, he did very similar and left the cue ball right in knotted with a red and a yellow. He's pretty much done the same again. There's no shot to pot here, I don't think, for Lee.
Well, I think the funny thing is, the only ball that Lee can pot is a red, but he doesn't want reds, he wants yellows.
No, it's very true. You can probably get that one into the middle, just on the baulk line. And he does. So this is the state of play.
There's a shot here for Lee to play, which he may play. The red that he's closest to now, stun that out and leave the yellow, leave the cue ball wedged against this yellow, and then Lee's bad red is out in the open, or one of his bad reds. I don't know if this red over here goes past the yellow, but if he can leave Jordan wedged to that yellow, there'll be nothing Jordan can do. Oh, he's gone gung-ho. He's gone Jordan Shepherd style.
That's been a little out of character for Lee Clough.
It is a little bit, but I can see why he did it, because that would have opened the frame up for him. But it hasn't worked. Maybe if he was 3-2 up, it would have come out lovely. You know, it seems to maybe be the way sometimes.
And now these yellows are lined up very, very nicely for Jordan Shepherd, you feel?
They are. His most difficult shot's going to be his first shot, because this is no gimme from distance, but yeah, he's cued that absolutely lovely. He's carried on running a bit. He didn't want it to go that far, but he's fine. He can come up table for these two yellows at the top of the table now.
And just takes the one in the middle, just almost as a halfway house to the one up at the top.
Yeah, we may see him deep screw into the cushion where he's queuing from, and back out now. Needed to hit that a little bit harder. Need an extra couple of inches there, but I mean, he's still at the table. I still fancy him to clear these, especially because it's for the set. I think he will take that extra few seconds to compose himself before making sure he gets the finish.
It's not easy queuing either.
Not easy queuing, no. No, he's missed it. He's missed it. He's
just get the sense there he rushed that a little bit because he wasn't happy with how his fingers were set. He didn't feel like he could trust his
100%. Yeah, he was slightly awkward queuing, and he's just kind of, yeah.
You can see how taut his fingers were at either side there. I just don't think he could have, in an ideal world, he'd have set that shot for at least another second just to make sure that he got that right, and I just don't think he had the time to.
No, he didn't. I think Lee hasn't got an easy finish here though, because the black doesn't go and neither does the red next to it. So in other frames when Jordan's missed, it's been really simple for Lee to finish the frame off, but it's not from here.
He's just having a little look at the one on the baulk line there. Might just squeeze that past the yellow.
Maybe trying to cover the pocket. He has done. That's a really good shot. That's a really good shot. I don't know if Jordan can play the double into the corner pocket that the white is in, but if he can't play the double, if he can just at least get the yellow in front of the red.
He's played the
He's
double.
got it. Played it brilliantly.
Brilliant.
I don't think he's on the yellow. No, look at his face.
He's just got to work very, very hard to pot his next ball.
I think he's surprised it went. I think he was more really just trying to cover the pocket. You can see he plays it so gently that it just about drops in.
Well, he can pot the middle yellow here. It's just a very, very difficult shot.
Oh, wow.
And you can see there, it was a very difficult shot, and he might have let Lee in here. He knows it as well. This is a good chance for Lee here. All the balls are fairly spread out, and he'd back in to clear this. Not been playing too well in this set. The first two sets he was very, very smooth, very consistent, and it was difficult for Jordan to ever really get a look in, but in this third set it's not all been going Lee's way.
No, and Jordan knows he's had more than enough chances to win even the set before, to be fair, but especially this set, so I don't think 3-0, even if it does go 3-0 to Lee, I don't think that'll be a fair reflection on how the match has gone, really. But
it feels like it's been closer than the 3-0.
it does. And even now, it feels like we're at a really tense part of the match where if Jordan can somehow nick this set, I still think he can win the match.
It's a nice shot there from Lee.
Yeah, it's nicely done. Again, just simple cue ball control on it, and it should be frame over, and we'll be into a deciding frame for the first time in this match, actually.
And what a deciding frame it is, because Lee is only 2 frames from the match. Only 1 away if he wins this, of course, which he is in pole position to do. 4 balls left before the black, and they're all lined up pretty well for him. Can just drop these in dead weight the next 2.
Yeah, I think he's moaning about nothing here. I think he's all right. He's half composed himself in a way. You know, he knows he's fine. He wanted a little bit more angle, wanted to be a little bit further over, because if he was perhaps here, sorry, we'll go back. But if he was perhaps over here, then he could have just come across. And it's kind of messed his order up, but it just means he's going to have to play us at a bit of pace, which he didn't want to do. He should be fine though. I'll tell you what,
Has he left himself the angle there?
No, he's messed it up, but he's got a shot. He can play this red off of the yellow. He needs to play this red 3/4 ball into the yellow, and it's a fairly easy pot, to be fair. But I don't think he's got the angle to just pot it clean anymore. He's almost really messed that up. He's almost a bit fortunate that yellow's there, otherwise he'd be faced with a long red into the top corner.
This is a big shot.
He is taking the red into the top corner. This is missable.
It's a great shot.
Cued it like a dream. Cued it like a dream, and that'll be 3-all.
And you just see Jordan's expression there. A little part of him might have just thought, that might have been my moment.
Yeah, he looks a little bit resigned in his chair there, doesn't he? He doesn't look happy. Lee wanted to be a little bit further across. I mean, he did miss a black not too dissimilar to this early in the set, but I fancy him to get this and take it into a decider.
It should be bread and butter for Lee Clough for 3 apiece, and for match point gets it. So we will go to the deciding frame in the 3rd set, which does mean that Lee Clough is just a frame away from heading into the 2nd round of the IPA Pool World Championships.
That takes Lee to the 100 balls potted in the match.
Really rocketed that ball into the corner. And there you can see a few of our other matches still taking place.
So Gareth Hibbert there, former world champion, in this bottom of the screen. Just taking a frame against Ryan Clark. That's a tough last 64 match. Really tough. Ryan's is a real top amateur.
Here are the live scores. Still remaining quite close in a few of these games. Just want to ask you, Dan, about how you found your game earlier on.
Yeah, it was. I played well. I won 3-0. It was 4-0, 4-1, and 4-2 in sets. But yeah, I played well. It was a solid match. I kind of Sanjay Patel, and he's a very good player, but he didn't play as well as he can. And I just played a solid match, really, just to get myself through. It's always can be a little bit nervy first match of the tournament, and yeah, just happy to get through, really. Play later on this evening. Now we see there from Lee, he's made a couple of balls. No, he's made 1 ball from the break, but he's made a ball. That's all he needs. But look at that table. There's clusters everywhere.
It really is, and in an ideal world with 2 reds over the pocket, you'd really like to choose reds here, but there's no gimmies on the other balls. This is quite interesting.
So, I mean, problem areas. How long have you got? So, problem area. potential problem area if you go reds. Reds are the easier ball to pop because you've got an easy starter over here. So good luck, Lee. Rather you than me.
He might use a large chunk of the shot clock here.
He'll probably use his extension. I think he has used his extension. We get 60-second shot clock and 1 30-second extension per frame. And I think if you're ever going to use it, it'll be on this shot. I mean, it's the most important frame of the match.
Yeah, and as players, you're used to having 90 seconds on the break when shot clocks aren't in force.
That's right. Yeah, okay, so Lee did have an easy start into the left middle. Again, he's still got his 2 problem areas. So we may... I think he's got an angle maybe to cut this yellow into the... middle and get into... Again, you want to get into your bad balls early, always. Get into your problem areas early and then you're likely to have a shot. So you may see him cut that yellow into the middle, go into that. That's one option. He may look for a better angle by taking the ball that he's taking now. So he's going to play this at pace. Be screwing twice across the table. Needs to cue this well. He's cued it well, but he hasn't quite got into it as much as he wanted. And you see there with the side spin that he put on there, because he's played that with bottom right-hand side spin. It's gone into the cushion at one angle, gone back on itself, and then back on itself again. You can see probably from the spots on the white, it's still spinning, but it's spinning the other way, and it's gone back. He wanted to be up table. He wanted to be much further up table. Anywhere here, you know, he wanted to be, and
he's still got this long straightish one into
tough.
the bottom corner.
It's very tough. Cued it really, really well. Really well cued.
Now he might be targeting. It's not an easy shot, but the ball on the bottom cushion, he will naturally come away from it. Can he potentially look at breaking into one of the clusters?
Yeah, because what we've seen there with that angle is that this yellow does go into that middle pocket. Now, he'll play this yellow into the corner, and he's going to play it with bottom right-hand side. Really tough pot to break into those 2 balls. And this yellow goes into the middle as his insurance policy. This is the key to the frame. If he misses this, it's frame over. Set over. If he gets it, it's match over.
Well, there we go.
Cued it perfectly. He's played it really, really well.
You said it might be match over. It might well just be that. That's a lovely shot from Lee Clough. And important as well, there, Dan, as well. That shot itself, to pot it, wasn't easy. It would have been very easy to take his eye off it.
Well, it was a tough enough pot as it is, and the harder you play it, the more difficult the pot becomes.
Of course.
But he just needs to leave himself the right angle. Can't be low. Can't be high, sorry. Has to be low. Ideally, wants to be straight on this yellow into the right middle. I think he's absolutely perfect.
Just wants to run through to the yellow in the middle.
Yeah, I think ideally he'd like to run through so that he can drop the yellow into the middle and play a simple black into the corner pocket. But he has to give himself the right angle here. So he's a bit too high now, but it shouldn't be a problem because he should be able to just play it with a little bit top and nudge this red out the way and leave himself a nice black into the middle. So nudge this red out the way here and just leave the black into the right middle. The only thing that can really go wrong here is he gets wedged up to the black. That's the only thing that can go wrong, and that's just what he's thinking about here. Doesn't want to be stuck to the black.
He's aware of that. Just takes a little look at the shot clock just to make sure he's not going to be outside of that. Crucial shot.
Yeah.
No, and he's gone the other way.
Absolutely
He's cannoned it
fine.
out the way for a simple black into the middle, so it will be You can see there a right shake of the head from Jordan Shepherd. It's going to be Lee Clough who's going to take this deciding frame and take the set and indeed the match. There's the handshake. Lee Clough has done it. He makes his way through to round 2 of the World Championships. Jordan Shepherd exits at the first round stage 3-0. As we mentioned, perhaps a little bit of an unbalanced scoreline for what was for large parts a very, very close game. We can see it on the stats here. Total frames won is very skewed. Lee Clough doubling the amount of Jordan Shepherd, but for so much of that game, Dan, it did seem like a very, very close match.
Yeah, agree. I mean, you look at the stats there, and 3 breaking dishes each. The 3 more dry breaks for Jordan than Lee had, and I think that was the key, because Lee's reverse dish, I mean, he's got 3 there, but if you look at the missed pots and fouls, there's no difference between them. Balls potted, massive difference, and total frames won 12-6 looks easy, but it was a closer match than that. I think the key breaking dish there was at 3-all. To win the match, and it wasn't easy at all. It really was a tough finish.
No, Lee Clough finished that quite beautifully. The man from England rolls on to round number 2. Jordan Shepherd exits at the first round stage. We'll be back with you after the break. And a very warm welcome back to Bradford. I'd like to say I'm joined by the winner of our last game, Lee Clough. Lee, big congratulations. That was a tough one. 3-0. Perhaps didn't do the competitiveness of that match much justice.
Definitely not. No, I think he's much better than that. He was a bit loose with his white a few times, which cost him frames. And when it's short races to win a set, it can be just one mistake cost you the set.
And in terms of short races, you might say that, but one of those frames took about 40 minutes. That was a real difference maker, especially in that second set. What was the advantage that went for you in that? Can you remember much of it?
I think it was possibly 1 frame all in the set. So I think because I was a set up, psychologically maybe that was quite big for me at the time. You know, you just try and win every frame as it comes anyway, but yeah, when it's a long one and you feel like you should win it and then should lose it, it's important if you can nick it, and obviously it makes a big difference, like I say, short sets again. So.
And I know you've taken a few years away from the sport, coming back into it now. What's it like to be back at the World Championships?
Great, yeah, I'm having a decent run. It's only last 32, but I'm enjoying it. I'm queuing reasonably well, so yeah, it's great.
And what's your aspirations for the rest of the tournament?
Well, I'd obviously like to keep winning, but just I'm still in the seniors and not starting the doubles yet, so obviously I'd love to win one of the events, but if I can go pretty far in 1 or 2, that I'd say that'd be quite a good week.
Well, we look forward to seeing you over the rest of the competition. Congratulations on the victory. That's from our friends at Leeds Brewery.
Cheers.
And we look forward to seeing you over the course of the weekend.
Cheers, thank you, thanks.
I thought it was high seed on the camera right.